everyone. Welcome into the East AlabamaWorks video podcast series. I'm Program Manager Carl Brady, and glad to have you with us on this particular podcast. You know, East AlabamaWorks is workforce development for Region 2 in the state of Alabama, and we work with all kinds of industry partners and education partners and training partners throughout the region to make sure that our region has a well-educated, well-trained, viable workforce for the businesses and industries that locate in this region. And we like to highlight a lot of the resources that are out there for people who are looking for some training or looking for some help in getting a job. And today we're going to talk about some of those resources that are provided by the Gadsden Public Library system. And we have Craig Scott with us, the director of the Gadsden Public Library. Craig, great to see you again. Welcome to the podcast.
Carl, always a pleasure to be talking with you and working with you. And you're right, the Gadsden Public Library has a wealth of resources, and we're just not a place for old dusty books. Okay, I'll mention one thing I heard just yesterday, as a matter of fact, at a training session that one of my staff members went to. She was mentioning they were going around the table introducing themselves. And this gentleman was from this manufacturing facility, another place of business. And they got to my staff member. She said, "I'm with the library." And a couple of them said, "There's still a library in town?" So, yes, indeed, there is a library in town. In fact, we have two other branches besides the main branch. And we are not, like I said, a place for old dusty books. We got plenty of them, and they're not so dusty, but we got a lot of other resources too that can help folks that are in the process of looking for a job.
That's one of the things I've always been impressed with the Gadsden Library system is, you know, still when you think of the library, you think about the process of checking out a book and returning it, and the librarian telling everybody to shush and be quiet all the time. But the Gadsden Library is a vibrant place. A lot of people are utilizing the services of the library, from young folks to middle-aged folks to the elderly folks. You guys have a lot of things going on there at the library that just it's way beyond our traditional thinking of what a library is.
Yeah, Carl. As a matter of fact, just this past Tuesday, in front of our city council here in Gadsden, I had come up with a quick little infographic just to show the value of the library to our community. And I'll just show it here quickly. And right there at the top, it says for 2022, last year, we have 22,500 card holders, active card holders.
Wow.
And we had 106,700 folks through our doors. Our three branches, again, main library downtown, our branch in Alabama City, and our branch in East Gadsden. But over 100,000 folks coming through the door to take advantage of our services.
Well, that's amazing. And one of the services that we want to talk about today are resources that you guys provide for job seekers, people who are looking for a job, looking for a better job. I didn't realize how invested you guys are in workforce development as a workforce development partner. We know about Beautiful Rainbow and the work that you guys do, the partnership you have with Beautiful Rainbow, but just for the general public who are looking for a job or needing some help with a resume and those kind of things, you guys are a wealth of resources for them as well.
We are. And as you know, a lot of job seekers looking for jobs, those jobs are posted online. So number one, you better know how to use a computer. And a lot of folks do these days. And in fact, a lot of folks just use their phones. But when you're filling out a job application, I tell you, it's a lot easier on a full screen computer. Yeah. So if you don't have a desktop at home, a laptop at home you can use, and you're trying to use your phone, that's very difficult. Come to the library. It's free here. And so we have public computers that are available. And we also have knowledgeable staff that can help. One in particular, Rachel Cole, I'm going to mention Rachel's name. She's our adult specialist, adult services specialist, and she helps people prepare resumes. So we have some good templates here that we follow. Our resumes look a little bit different than others that I've seen. And I'm a hiring manager, and I get to see a lot of resumes that come across my desk. Sometimes they all look the same. I like ours that we prepare for folks to have a little bit of color in them so that they stick out. When someone might be just running through resume after resume, all of a sudden there's a one in color, it pops out. So that's just a little something that we like to do that we think enhances our resume, that we can help somebody stand out from the crowd.
Absolutely. And, resume is very important, even with all of the online resources and sending your information in online. When you go to that job interview, when you get to the point of the job interview, they expect you to still hand them a printed paper resume so that they can kind of browse through it a little bit while they're talking to you.
As I tell folks, when you get in front of a hiring manager, they will see the application that you've filled out for them. But if you can also hand them a resume, it shows them you've gone one extra step, that you might be a little bit more prepared than the person before or after you. And it just makes you stand out a little bit more. And if that's got a little color in it, it just adds to presenting yourself the right way.
One thing we always teach people is to know a little bit about the company that you're applying with. Don't go in totally blind and about the company, because nowadays they're probably going to ask you, what do you know about our company? Why are you seeking a job with our company? And that's something you guys can help with as well. With the computers, you have the opportunity to do a little research on the company you're applying with.
Absolutely. And that's easy to look up. And if somebody is not comfortable in using a computer, we offer computer classes at the library that will help you explore around, help prepare resumes. We have some classes on Words, Excel, PowerPoint. Those are a little bit more, a little bit more skills that you'll need to work with those. But a basic Word document we can certainly help people with, and then prepare a good looking resume and help them explore around and find jobs that might be open in areas of interest of theirs.
Those computer classes, do they result in some kind of certification or something that you could put on your resume and show that you have completed those courses?
No, not an official certification, but we present a certificate ourselves that you've completed our class. And again, adding that to a job application and adding that to a resume just makes your package that you're presenting to a company just that much more valuable.
And when it comes to searching for a job, that's something that you can do there at the library as well. You guys help people have access to all of the different job search programs.
We do. We've got all of those, and of course, we have a lot of books, Carl. And we have a big section on jobs. One thing I want to mention: a lot of folks will come in, for instance, if they're preparing for some of the teaching tests that are required out there for teaching jobs, or military, the ASVAB test. Mm-hmm. We have books on that, but we also have online resources. So come in the library, get a Gadsden Public Library card, which takes all of 2 minutes to sign up for. And then that'll allow you access into our online website, which has a lot of great resources, including a couple of test preparation sites, one of which is called Momentrix, and the other is called Learning Express Library. Those two sites are excellent. They have literally thousands of practice tests on whatever subject you might be going. GED, for instance, lots of GED practice tests. Or the praxis test for teachers, the military test, that sort of thing. Nursing, real estate, lots of practice tests that are out there that you can do at home too.
Absolutely, and that's another thing. You mentioned all the books, but your card for the Gadsden Library allows you online access to a tremendous amount of information.
And again, if you don't have a computer at home and need to use or want to look at those resources, come to the library. We've got public computers at all three of our locations. They're available. And our staff members will help you get on a particular site. If it's practice tests that I was just mentioning, they can show you where those sites are. Explore around. You'll catch on pretty quick, and then take some good practice tests. So now you're really prepared when you go in for an interview.
What kind of what do you see when people come in and they're looking for a job? What's the best thing to do? Where do you start when you walk in the door?
Well, finding our library is pretty easy. We're next to the main post office in downtown Gadsden. In Alabama City, our branch there is located at West Meagan Boulevard and Wall Street, which is right next to the Ritz Theater over there. And in East Gadsden, we are next to the Family Success Center on East Broad Street there. All three locations have the computers that we talked about. But that's your first step, just finding us, coming in the door, and going up to one of the service desks and saying, hey, I'm here. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I want to find a job. And I tell you, my staff will take it from there for you.
That's great.
And a few more questions and you're on your way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the resume building process is a tremendous help because so many people just don't know what to put on a resume and what information they have. And it takes someone with some experience to kind of draw out the information from them as they get help to do that.
Carl, on my computer here in the office right here, I've helped many. My career here in Gadsden started in 2007, so I'm going on 15 years here. And over the 15 years before I came director, I was the adult services person. So I worked with many, many folks, not just with computer classes, but helping them prepare resumes. And I have kept every one of those resumes on file just in case someone wants to come in and update their resume. And I've done that hundreds of times.
Yeah,
they've got a job promotion or they've moved on to a different company, and they come in the door and they ask the front desk where the library guy is, and they track me down, and then I'll say, oh yeah, I remember you, and they say, do you still have my resume on file? I sure do. We pull it up and we update it, we change it around, whatever's needed, print some copies off for them, and off they go, and it takes all of 15 minutes.
And it's important to note that all of these services are available free of charge.
They are. We are supported by the taxpayers of Gadsden and of Etowah County, and greatly appreciate the support that we get. We are not a revenue generating machine here at the library. We are not going to collect millions of dollars with overdue fines of a dime, okay, per book. In fact, we are fine free here, which means that keep our books past their normal 14-day lending period, and you bring it back on the 15th or 20th day, the 30th day, we're not going to give you a fine. Okay, we just return our materials. Now, if you keep it 50 days, then we think you love it so much that we're going to send you a bill for it. Because we do want that book back, and you bring it back, and there won't be a fine. And if our letters are ignored, we do have a collection agency that does help us. They help libraries across the country, so they do it the right way. But that's fine free is what I'm getting at. So we are not looking to for any cost. Our services here are free. Again, we're supported by the taxpayers, and glad to help out folks.
When is the library open for people to come in and take advantage of some of these services?
So let's start here with the main library first. We are open at 9 in the morning, and we stay open until 5 in the afternoon on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Our late days are Tuesdays and Thursdays. We are open at 9 and we stay open till 7.
Wow.
So 5 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and till 7 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then on Saturday, We are open just 5 hours, though, at 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon for folks that need to come in. And well, we do have copy machines. Those are a dime a sheet. So if you need to make copies, we also have a notary here. If you need any documents notarized, we offer that, and that's $5 for a notary signature, which I think is about the cheapest in town.
Yeah.
So that's another quick service that I was thinking of. But Carl, let's talk about this.
Okay.
Your audience may be interested in knowing that this library. My philosophy on the library is, it's not a place for books or even the resources we've been talking about, but we need to be connected in the community. And we are connected with organizations and businesses and other nonprofits here in the city very, very well. So quite often we will hear of opportunities that may be out there. So if someone comes in the door looking for maybe a resume help, we may know of a job out there. Mm-hmm. Okay. I got some success stories with listen, anybody is welcome through our door. Okay.
Right.
Anybody's welcome through the door, and that includes homeless folks, as long as they behave. And if they don't behave, we'll deal with it. And that includes calling the police if necessary. But I've had homeless folks come in here and say, I need to get a job. Can you help me? And we have helped some folks, and we've got some really, really good success stories where they have turned their lives around. And I've helped get them some jobs, either with other organizations in town or with the city itself. And they may not be keeping all the accounting in our finance department, but they may be out mowing some lawns for Public Works or helping at the recycling center. And those are key jobs, and they're bringing in a good paycheck.
Absolutely. So important to know that in addition to the online job resources, there just may be something that you guys have heard about just by being a partner around town.
Yep. And so we're an information source. And so folks can come up and not hesitate and say, have you heard of anything? I'm interested in this. I drive a forklift. There may be an opportunity out there that we know a company that might be looking for someone like that, or we keep our eyes and ears open, and can help somebody in that regard. You asked me about the hours, and I mentioned about the main library.
Oh yeah.
Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 5, Tuesdays and Thursdays till 7 o'clock at night, and on Saturdays from 9 to 2. Our two branches, they both have the same hours. They are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. The branches are not open on Saturdays, and they don't stay open late on Tuesdays and Thursdays, just 9 to 5, each of the work days. We're closed, of course, on city holidays. Tomorrow is Good Friday. That's a city holiday. The library will be closed, and we'll be closed on Saturday, and then we'll reopen on Monday.
I like that you have a couple of days that you have extended hours. One of the focal groups that we look at in workforce is people who are underemployed. They may have a job, but they have a difficult time getting to resources because they're working their job and they need somebody to be open non-traditional hours, so to speak, so that they have that opportunity, whether it is to go get some training at night as opposed to at 10 o'clock in the morning, or going and checking out a job board somewhere where you could do it after traditional hours. So it's very important what you guys are doing there, having a couple of days that you're open a little bit later, and that allows people who do have jobs but would like to look for something better the opportunity to come in at a non-traditional time.
Carl, I'll take advantage of the opportunity of talking with you today to mention a couple other things about the library.
Okay.
But we have an outstanding children's department here. So folks that may have a child at home and need just want to get out and expose the child to some really good, fun educational resources, keep the library in mind. Good kids department. We've got a great teen department that'll fill up. But look, it's almost 3:30 in the afternoon. Kids will be getting out of school. Guess where a lot of them come to? They come right to the library here, and they're heading to our They're heading to our 4th floor, which is our teen zone, or a teen hive. They like to call it a hive. So they're up there. And then we also have a historic archive of materials, old materials for Gadsden and the county that we have up on our 3rd floor, pretty much under lock and seal. But those items are all being cataloged and stored and preserved the right way. And we're interested if one of your audience members might have a long family history here in Gadsden. They've got some old materials of the family they might not know what to do with. Come talk to us. We'd be interested in seeing what those materials are and helping the person preserve the right way. And if we can get copies of those for our file here, that would be terrific.
That's awesome. So definitely something for the entire family there, and even talking with workforce development, reaching kids at a young age to make sure they understand education, make sure they understand skills training and things like that, but giving them a good basic foundation in reading is a great foundation for any kind of education. That's the best place to start for any kind of education, whether that means you're going to go be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, or whether you're going to be a welder or an electrician or a carpenter. Getting a good foundation at a place like a public library is important.
I'll tell you one other thing you've just reminded me. So we take some summer intern help here, and the city, hopefully that program continues this summer, but in conjunction with Gadsden City Schools, we'll work with the school system to bring in a few interns, 2 or 3 to help us. But when I interview the intern, they of course, they prepare an application. I like it if they have a resume. But I'll bring in some of my senior staff members here, and we'll put them around the table here in my office. And we put them through an interview process, just like if they were going to, out to try to get a job for the first time. So it's a little intimidating, I think, when they come in, that to all of a sudden see 3 or 4 people around the table and start asking them questions. So I like to do that. It gives them a little bit of experience, and hopefully on down the way that'll help them a bit.
That's a great idea. We do a lot of mock interviews with our local schools and our career coaches, and one of the things that we will do sometimes is a panel interview like that, because you people are kind of prepared for the one-on-one sitting across the desk talking to somebody. But when you walk into a room and there are 4 or 5 people sitting there, it does immediately become a whole different ballpark. And we like to prepare the high school students for that possibility as well. I know when I interviewed for my current job here at East AlabamaWorks was the first time I had ever done a panel interview. And you know my background, 30 years in radio and TV, and there's really not an interview process in that. It's a lot of behind the scenes, having lunch with somebody at McDonald's in another town because you don't need to be seen together, that kind of thing.
Right.
But when I started this job, and they sat me down. It was. I felt like I was testifying in front of Congress. And it was a little bit intimidating, but it was a lot of fun as well, since I had prepared for that. And but it's something that you don't see very often. So we try to prepare our students for that, especially the ones that are in programs like MMP classroom programs or the FAME program at Gadsden State. We always make sure that they have some experience with panel interviews.
That's all good. Yep. We think alike.
Absolutely. Well, I'm about to lose my voice here all of a sudden. So, anything that we haven't talked about workforce development wise or job search wise that you guys are doing?
I think we covered the bases pretty well. I would encourage everybody to go to our website. That's gadsdenlibrary.org. gadsdenlibrary.org. Check out our website. When you hit that website, just scroll down a bit and you're going to see something called online resources. And I would ask them to maybe explore some of those. We have some old historic pictures on there that are always fun to look at, some of the old Scarborough pictures, but yet
those are great.
There are the Mometrics database that I talked about of practice tests along with the Learning Express Library. It's called, again, practice tests. I would encourage people to maybe take a peek.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you about the website, and you got that covered for me, and I should have brought a glass of water in here with me in the studio. Anyway, Craig, thank you so much for taking the time with us to talk about the resources that you guys offer there at the Gadsden Public Library. I appreciate what you guys do and the services that you provide for the citizens of Gadsden and the surrounding area. You don't have to be a citizen of Gadsden to come in and utilize the services. If you're from anywhere in the surrounding area, you're in Gadsden, you'd like to stop by, feel free. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Our official name with our state library that they have on file for us is the Gadsden Etowah County Public Library. So we service the entire county and of course, sitting in the heart of Gadsden here.
Absolutely. Well, Craig, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for the work you do in the community in so many different aspects. And folks, we want to thank you as well for joining us for this edition of the East Alabama Works video podcast series. We'll see you next time.
Very good. Thank you, Carl.